Hello lovely people of YouTube, my name is Miss T. I am a trainee teacher currently doing a school-centred initial teacher training programme in the local area. For those of you who don't know, that is slightly different from a full PGCE university because you are in your placement school from sort of day 2, so you get to have an understanding of the children you're working with. It's not for everybody, but I find it's a really good way after university of just getting yourself stuck in the classroom. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. I'm going to share with you now some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way and picked up from some very great people on Instagram to try and make your training journey or your organisation maybe a little bit easier. So, first thing I'm going to start with is the Trusty Teacher's Planner. So, this came from Pirongs, which actually in my old job I used to be a pastoral support coordinator, and obviously used to talk to a lot of teachers, and this was the website that they used. So if you can see that, Pirongs, it's the website that they used to order all of theirs from. Now I got a slightly smaller, which I believe is A5 maybe, planner, because I wasn't sure with teacher training just sort of how things were going to go, if I'd need one. But actually when I have been teaching, it's been so good to put sort of the layout of the week in, what I'll be teaching, what time, is there any homework I need to set, is there anything I need to do online if I'm on a training day, and all this you can sort of customise online. So you can customise the amount of lessons you've got. It's got all of your contact details obviously and everything in the front. It's got marking bits at the back, which is lovely, but you get to customise the colour as well, and the ribbon, most importantly, for those of us who like to be matching. But yeah, I would definitely get another one of these next year. I think this cost me about £15, but it's so worth it just to keep everything in one place. And I think you can pay more to have slightly better add-ons, but again, as I didn't know what to go for, that was my best choice, which I'm glad I've got. So, my next top tip, which it's up to you which order you would like to do it in, because they're both equally as important. You need to be organised, but you also need to have an understanding of your professional behaviours. Now, it's different on some courses, I understand, but our course is now using the ITT Core Content Framework, so Initial Teacher Training Core Content Framework, which is basically the same as teaching standards for those of you who know what they are, and sort of hope by now that you know what they are, or maybe you're just interested in maybe starting teacher training and you're not that sure that it's for you, and this is why you're viewing the video. But anyway, here you go. So it goes through everything that you need to learn about, how you're going to learn about it, and how you can evidence that. It's really good actually, because it breaks it down. It's really simple words, because I think you sort of get that feeling that with teachers it's got to be, I don't know, maybe big words all the time, and I can't always follow big words, so I really like that it breaks this down completely. So the other thing is, which our course isn't actually following, but the university we're doing it with is following, which is actually quite important, are the teacher standards. Now I've written mine up briefly because I was organised and tried to do it, but I just think it's so good to have it in one place that you've written up in your own words. Sorry about the laminating, it might be a bit bad. But so you've got all your teacher standards down here, how you're going to achieve them, and then I did put a section for how can I prove this, and I might add to that with a whiteboard pen at some point, but we'll see. But it's just really good to know what they are, and they're all quite simple, but most of them you'll probably actually be doing already, especially if you've worked in education before and you're now just transferring to a teaching role. But it's so handy to have just to refer back to, especially if you're doing assignments and maybe you've got some PPA time and you need them. And yeah, you can get them online, but I still think that looking at stuff in your own words is a lot more beneficial. So, on keeping with the organisation, I have got a lovely folder from Sainsbury's, which I really like the colours. The rose gold, obviously typical, but you know. So this is my folder. It's a huge lever arch folder, which obviously has got everything into in my label maker, but it's got everything I could possibly need in it. I've still obviously got one section, but never mind, we'll roll with it. I've got core subjects, history, maybe not a core subject, but it's quite important in our school, so I've included that. Also done a lesson plans one for when I need to take those in for me and my mentor. And I've got part of the national curriculum in the back as well to refer to. This is where my teaching standards go that I just showed you on the card. And also at the very bottom it says weekly plan, which I will just show you. So I actually found these on Instagram by one of the Instagram teacher accounts. And these were from Tesco. I believe they're £1.50 with club card. So there's 5 wallets, which obviously go in your ring binder. And I've labelled them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now I know that obviously most people will probably be able to do fancier labels than me, but they are so handy to keep your lesson plans and your resources for the following week, or things you've got to go back to. It's just so useful. I actually didn't think when I made these that I would use them that much, but whenever I'm teaching, they're literally my go-to and my saviour sometimes, because I think I've got rid of something, taking it out, but actually leaving it in there until the following week actually really helps. So that's my other top tip. Okay, so before I started teacher training, I obviously had to brush up on subject knowledge, which I think it's the same for everyone now, but you don't actually do an assessment to check your subject knowledge beforehand. It's audited by yourself and by the people running the course, and then you monitor it as you go along, which in some respects is better, but then it's a lot more work to do. So I don't know, you can weigh it up for yourselves. But I made some revision cards for myself, and I also thought maybe I might be able to use these with a year group that I teach, but you never know. So we've got place value, what place value is, the different bits of terminology, because you have things like digit, and then what's a number and what's a numeral, and whilst I know what all these things are, it's so easy to get them all mixed up. But the thing is, they're so handy to have. I mean, you know, adding fractions, it's very easy, but because I've never really been a maths bod, I can get myself very confused even though I know how to do it. So it's just good to have them on hand really, but I'm not going to show you every single one, but you get the gist. But if anybody wants a copy, you can always send these over. I think I've still got them, but I'm debating whether to sell some actually, because a lot of people have said they're really interested, and they're actually quite nice. I'm actually quite proud of these, which is unusual for things that I create, but you know, go with the flow, whatever. So I've got maths ones there. I've got some times table cards, which will be useful for the children. So yeah, really useful to have, and especially if you use these with children, spotting patterns as well, because although they might know their times tables, they might not realise actually these jump up in twos because they've just learnt by memory that that's a 2 times table, but actually it's 2 times 2, or it's 4 plus 4 is 8. So it's a really good thing to sort of keep these in your back pocket just in case. And the amount of times, bear in mind I've only taught for 2 whole days and then a few other lessons beside that, but it's so good to keep things in your back pocket to just get out when you need to, because that does often happen. Things change very quickly. So some more maths cards here involving times tables and factors and multiples, but they're just really good to have again. And the kids love them because it's just something different. It's a different way of learning with maths, to be honest. And I'm going to do another video shortly on maths anxiety, which is what I've been researching at the moment. But it's really interesting, and things like this can just help prove to children that actually they've got the ability to do what they want to do, but they just need to sort of have someone to believe in them and show them how to do it. But we'll get onto that another time. So these are my English cards as well. Now, I have had quite a few people ask for these, and they said they've been so helpful. So again, debating on selling these, like literally just not for much money at all, just as pocket money, because obviously trainee teacher, no income, unless you're very lucky. But yeah, these are fantastic. I was teaching a unit in English of the week, and I kept doubting myself that I didn't know the terms. When I did, I know that I did, because I could spot them out and I was absolutely fine during the lesson. But they were so handy to just go, right, okay, I know what that is. I've got secure knowledge. And you know what? I've been doing SATs papers as well to make sure that I have got Key Stage 2 knowledge secure, and then I can go back to, I'm in year 3 at the moment, so then I can go back to other topics and sort of refresh. I'm very sorry about that. My rabbit has just gone sliding all over the lovely folders that I've just shown you. But never mind, you're probably going to say hello in a minute. Oh, there he is. Oh, Flumpy. So, the other thing I would highly recommend buying, got this off Amazon, £7 Guillotine. It's not huge, but it's portable. Take it anywhere, and you know what? It cuts so well. So well. This has literally been my lifesaver. I did all these cards with this as well. I think it's £7, but if not, if you can't get on Amazon, the range, I believe, do a similar one in pink, which I would rather have pink, as you can probably tell by now, but literally, I think they're £5 and they're really nice. So same as, I also got a glue gun as well, which I haven't got with me right now, but the range also do really cheap glue guns and glue sticks, but Amazon do a better deal where you get so many glue sticks. But yeah, so that's the other top tip. I think Flumpy wants to be a teacher, but never mind. So, having done an education course for my undergraduate where I was looking at the history and SEN sort of topics, and then I've done my masters in that as well, which yes, I've done my masters before my teacher training, but I wasn't sure I wanted to be a teacher, and now I really am, so I'm glad that I did it that way. This book, through from undergraduate to masters to now, is proving Flumpy to be so valuable, and literally I've recommended this to everyone. Everyone's like, oh, it's so great, it's brilliant. I don't know if there's a more up-to-date edition. I think this is 2017, so there possibly is, but it's such a brilliant book if you're not sure on SEN. Even now, like, I've got lots of experience in SEN, but it's just brilliant. Like, it gives you scenarios on different things, and it's not just inclusion from special educational needs. It's like diverse religion, things like that. It's amazing, and it gives you different ways of thinking about topics and how others might think. It gives you some questions, terminology, and again, it's one of those, along with the policy, that it breaks down so easily. It's amazing, and I'm so glad I bought this book. I'm pretty sure this is one of the cheaper ones, actually. I think it was about 20 quid, but that was 2016, so that was a while ago. Actually, it could have been 2016, maybe 2018. But it is a book I would never be without, and I will keep through my teaching career until it becomes outdated. But it's amazing. Definitely get that. Another one I've ordered second hand, which I haven't actually come across until a couple of weeks ago, is this one. Now, there is another edition of this, however, it's very expensive. And again, as a primary teacher, but I wanted a book that I could keep referring back to for planning. Although I've looked through it and I've found it useful, I haven't actually used it to plan anything yet. I think this is going to be the best thing. It breaks everything down. It gives you terminologies, how to scaffold, how to model, and I really struggle at the moment with modelling. my work, which actually sounds like quite an easy thing to do, but when you think you've modelled it, actually you haven't, and you have to backtrack and think, right, okay, this is easy for me because I'm the adult, but for those who've never been over it before, it can be quite a tricky thing. So whereas I've just taught lessons and gone, okay, this is how I do it, you give me your ideas, right now go and do it, you can't do that. So it teaches you all how to do that, and it's Planning the Primary National Curriculum, Complete Guide for Trainees and Teachers, and it's by Kira Sewell. I don't know how you say that name, but it's at the top anyway. I'll put it in the bio as well. But yeah, so that is another top book. Now the only last thing I would say is that I'm going to trial, I made this before I went into my school, but I'm going to trial using something a bit like this. Again, it's laminated, which is really difficult to see, but I'm going to use something a bit like this to help a couple of students who've got dyspraxia. Lovely children, but they sometimes just need something to focus them and to look at and think, right, okay, so I could use that and then get them back on track. So for example, if they get stuck in a sentence and then get distracted, if I go, okay, use your desk helper, they can go, oh right, okay, so oh, I could use that word, or oh, that's how you write that capital letter, and remembering like spaces, capital letters, full stops, and reading through their work again to make sure it makes sense, it can just put them back on track so easily. So I'm going to trial this and I will let people know how it goes, but I'm not saying it's going to be the best thing. I may need to adapt it slightly, but it's a starting point, you know. So I think that's about it for my top tips and helping things. But yeah, if you have any questions or you think that any of my information is incorrect and you'd like to enlighten me, that's absolutely fine. I will not be offended. As we are taught, feedback is a gift. So yeah, any information you need, just drop me a message and I'll try and be as helpful as I can. Bye.